Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Getting Down to Business. I'm Ashley Curtis, Assistant Program Director for the Bishop Center for Ethical Leadership.
And I'm Jill Brown, Academic and Career Advisor with the Movement College of Business. Today we have some special guests on set, and here's a hint, a dolphin tail, one or two, maybe that rings a bell. If you can't guess, we have the Clearwater Marine Aquarium on the set, and we're so excited. We're going to let you introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Megan. I'm a senior team lead and a marine biologist from the Clearwater Marine Aquarium and a USFSP alum. I graduated in spring of 2020.
Great. My name is Stephanie, and I am the Director of People and Culture at Clearwater Marine Aquarium. I'm responsible for staffing, volunteers, interns, and so many more things.
Woohoo! And that's what we're going to dive into today.
Yep, very excited to have you all. Before we dive in, we always like to ask our guests a question. So the question that Jill and I have for you today is, out of the animals currently residing in the aquarium, which is your favorite and why? Which I understand may be a very challenging question.
My favorite is probably Rosie, one of our rough-toothed dolphins. She's our newest resident, and I got to help out with her rehab process, so I'm a little partial to her, but she's probably my favorite.
What does that mean?
So there are different species in the bottlenose dolphin.
Okay.
You're not going to see them at the beach or anything like that. They're found in deeper water. They kind of look prehistoric, like little dinosaurs.
Ooh, I'm going to be home Googling this
And
immediately.
if you see pictures of her on their Instagram, like sharp teeth, like
Ooh.
really the teeth they're sharp.
But so cute.
Rosie.
Yeah.
How
Rosie.
old? Do we
She
know?
is between 2 and 3.
Okay.
She has a much longer rostrum and a shorter melon, so she kind of looks like an alien pod when you see her floating from the top.
So true. So true. How
And
about
Stephanie?
you, Stephanie?
For me, it's probably Nicholas.
Oh, I know.
We do a lot of recruiting videos, and I love to film them first thing in the morning when Nicholas hasn't seen anybody all night, because then he's very curious, and he comes down to the window, and he's popping his head, and he's looking, and what are you guys doing? So we did one with, we had like marine hats on, like jellyfish, octopuses, sharks, etc. And he was hilarious. The video was great. You should check our website out.
Yeah, definitely will.
We will. We did before the show, and I'm going to be looking for that. And Nicholas is how?
So Nicholas is about 22 years old. Wow. Yeah, 22.
He's been around.
He's been with us the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks for that. We're going to get down to business now. And in case everyone is not familiar, I mean, we have a lot of transplants to Florida, of course, with the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. On your website, there's a phrase, rescue, rehab, release. Would you mind talking to us about what that means and how your aquarium differs from others?
So we're actually a working marine animal hospital. So what that means is rescue is a huge portion of our mission. We belong to a stranding network, and we get phone calls to come and assist when dolphins, turtles, or buoys that kind of look like a turtle are floating upside down. And then we respond to those requests. And if, let's say right now, today, we got several turtles from up in the Northeast that were hit by a cold stun. So they start to become lethargic, they start floating, and then they bring them to us, and we do their rehab. And then hopefully we release them.
Right.
We would think it was perfect if you could never see an animal when you came to us.
Oh.
Yeah, so we are primarily a working marine animal hospital. So that is our focus, which I think sets us apart from a lot of other aquariums. So our dolphins and our turtles are all with us because for one reason or another, they're not fit to survive out in the wild. It wouldn't be a good ending for them out there. So they're able to have a life with us.
Very good.
I just remember the first time I took some family to the aquarium and they were like, whoa, wait, what's going on? This one is not looking quite like what you see in videos or pictures or you think about. And so I was like, no, it's a hospital. This is a rehab. We're hoping, so it is different. And it's good to know before you go, in a sense.
We're very transparent. We actually, the turtle hospital, the windows are wide open. People can actually watch our vet do procedures on the turtles. So, and that's kind of a cool experience.
It
definitely
is,
sets us apart.
Yeah. So Clearwater Marine Aquarium is known as a world leader when it comes to marine mammal research and environmental conservation. So can you both share with us a little bit more about the research that you're doing and some of the projects and experiences?
Yes, we have a whole branch of our aquarium dedicated to research. It's the Clearwater Marine Aquarium Research Institute, which is a relatively new division to us, but they do research with manatees. They do tracking with them, and right whales is a big one for them as well. So the
Hmm.
North Atlantic right whale, they're super endangered. There's only about 350 of them left in the world.
Wow.
So they do aerial
Yikes.
photo identification surveys. So they'll get in a plane and fly overhead and take pictures of the whales from up there and monitor them that way.
We're actually an international organization. We have a rehab facility in Belize, and we're actually building a new campus and facility very close to where the cruise ships come in. So cruise ships will provide us with our patients.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we're building this whole facility, and we hope over the next 5 years to bring education to other countries about the plight of the turtles and how endangered they are from plastic bags floating in the ocean to other things.
Yeah, very
Boat
good.
strikes.
Just really quick, because I recognize yesterday was Wildlife Conservation Day, and I'm just curious as we think about like how we can do our part to help out with that. What are some ways that Jill and I and our community can do that?
So in July, we had participated in No Plastic July, which is a
Mm.
movement to use paper straws instead of plastic straws and reusable containers instead of plastic containers or plastic bags.
Mhm.
So because it was brought to the forefront of my head, every time I was at the beach all weekend, I was picking plastic up off the beach.
Right.
And so now it's kind of become a habit for me. So really educating people on those things, but the simple things that you can do.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thanks.
I was going to say, if anybody's ever participated in any type of beach cleanup, I think then you are a part of that team that's going to pick up trash when you see it that you do not want to see floating. Or when we've been kayaking, we're like trying to fish out stuff, because we know exactly where it's going to end up in some wildlife stomach or blockage or something, that we don't want to see. But, all right. Excellent. Our podcast, we have a heavy emphasis on internships. So that's why we're excited to have you here to talk a little more, if you don't mind, about your internship that you did at Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Really just how it even evolved, if you don't mind.
So I've been coming to Clearwater Marine Aquarium since I was a little kid. Every time
Okay.
we'd come down to Florida, I'd be begging to go there. So going into school and going into schooling for this field, I knew that I wanted to be a part of that organization in some way, whether it was volunteering. And then I found out about the internships through that. So on our website, we've got all of our internship information, and that's where I found that and landed myself in the education department, which is where I work now.
Nice. All right.
Our internships are very competitive. We have internships for rescue. So they're the people that are going out on those strandings. In the summertime, we have internships for sea turtle conservation. So we are actually monitoring the nests along the beach.
Mhm.
We have educational summer camp internships. We have marine mammal internships. We have aquatic biology, which is pretty much any animal under the sun except for a dolphin. We have water quality internships, which are huge help in understanding the salinity and the type of water, the life support systems. And then we have rehab internships to where those turtles that were hit by cold stun, they're actually going to be taking care of those patients.
Wow.
So I'm thinking too, for our students, I mean, it runs a spectrum, right? Majors aren't necessarily, they don't need to match up. And I worked with a student who was in marketing, and he did an internship
Yes.
for Clearwater Marine Aquarium. So it was awesome. What were you going to?
I was going to say, we actually have 4 different marketing internships. We have a tourism one. So you're out on the beach, you're actually making connections with those concierges and talking about our mission to them to bring people to our aquarium.
Okay.
We have a digital media one. So you're doing social media posts and things like that about our mission. We have a creative one. So you're actually helping design the signs. And then we have an exhibits one. So we're actually helping design the exhibits where the animals are going to be. All of them have a very deep curriculum attached to them. And there is a capstone project at the end that you do and you present to your peers as well as some of the higher level people at the aquarium. And each of those capstone projects are meant to enhance the program. So in Megan's case, they're actually teaching a class for a week, right?
But for our summer camp interns, yeah, by the end of the summer, their goal is to teach an entire week of summer camp on their own. So they kind of do it piece by piece until the end. They're kind of on their own.
Oh, wow. So this sounds like a very robust internship program, like very well thought out. My question for you all, and especially because it sounds like a lot of the opportunities for interns is to be very hands-on with
Mhm.
animals. So what kinds of training is involved in just general internship expectations?
So, if you've had any experience with animals, put that on your resume, even if it was volunteering to train people's dogs. Some type of experience with animals is preferred. We do look at the majors, but they're not that important.
Mhm.
In fact, we had a marine biology major from Duke University last summer who did the tourism internship, and she was actually hugely beneficial to us because she had an understanding of the marine life. So when she was talking to the
Yeah.
concierge on the beach, she was able to talk about why the lights are
Right.
important or the other things.
Mhm.
And we're actually very excited to announce that we have just gotten 2 summer paid internships, one for education and one for our sea turtle conservation program.
Amazing.
So interns any time of the year too, right?
Yep, we have
Okay.
fall, summer, and spring.
Okay.
We have deadlines that are pretty consistent with the colleges here in Florida as far as when the deadline is to apply.
I'm curious, are there any other expectations, responsibilities? I don't know if you want to dive in to your experience a little more with what you did, what your day to day looked like, just so students have an idea, because it is intimidating. And then when you talk about that curriculum and teaching a class, we don't want to scare anybody off. But, what did it look like?
So my internship was in the education department.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of do a little bit of everything. And my internship was that way as well. I did a wide variety of different stuff. The main thing for my internship was the eco boat tour. So we have
Oh, yeah.
a dolphin and wildlife tour and a sea life safari. So 2 different types of public boat tours where we take people out into Clearwater Bay and teach them about the animals kind of up close and personal in their wild environment. So the main part of my internship was learning how to narrate one of those eco boat tours. So they're anywhere between 60 and 90 minutes. And on one of those boat tours, the sea life safari, we do some research as well. So we have a permit to pull an otter trawl net. We collect a sample of species for baseline data collection. So learning species identification and public speaking was a huge part of it. We also would take care of our animal ambassador, Vlad. He's a little Russian tortoise, so you do some animal husbandry as well. And then also different community outreach events, whether that's tabling, and then also teaching like a school programs. So people coming to us and we'll do different educational programs with them or squid dissections and things like that. So really a whole lot of everything. So going into it, it can be overwhelming, but the staff is so good about breaking it down, step by step so that you're learning it piece by piece and it's not super overwhelming.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm just curious because you threw out a term that is new to me. What is animal husbandry?
Is taking care of the animals.
Okay.
Yeah. So whether that's making sure they're maintaining a proper weight and feeding them, giving them supplements, making sure they're staying like enriched and stimulated.
Okay.
Like a little parent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's what I
Love
was
it.
guessing, but I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm learning a lot. Let me
Yes.
just say.
Like, let me just pull out my notebook, start. I feel like I'm in class.
I was going to ask you, Stephanie, then a little bit more about the training itself. So I'm assuming, is there like this 1 week intro where you're learning all about the different aspects of CMA or, and then extended into your specific area of focus?
So we do have an orientation where you're learning about CMA, what our mission is,
Yeah.
what our vision is, our history. That's pretty much a whole day.
Yeah.
We also teach some other skills like during the internships, we're going to teach interviewing skills. We're going to teach resume writing skills. We teach conflict resolution skills, emotional intelligence as all part of those things that we teach because that makes the intern a more well-rounded person to go out into the work world.
Heck yeah.
And a cool thing to say is probably 42% of the interns that we have, we do hire on as full-time staff or temporary staff.
That's awesome.
I feel like we need a partnership and we need some
I know my mind is going.
projects happening on our campus to help with conservation as well as maybe a husbandry program.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it back to me or
Back to you.
Okay, what was I going to ask? 2 skills. What would you say, kind of like top 2 things that you feel the internship helped you develop and that you're carrying forward in your current work?
Public speaking, for
Okay.
sure. That was definitely a weakness for me. And now I do it every single day in my line of work.
No avoiding it.
No getting around it. So public speaking for sure. I've become pretty proficient at that. And then probably balancing again, our department does so many different things. So being able to balance all the different aspects of that job and kind of, I guess, like multitasking.
Yeah, that's important these days.
Yeah.
Too much coming at you.
Diving into, Megan, more of your experience, what was maybe your favorite thing about interning? I mean, obviously, you've come on as full-time staff. So what did you enjoy most in your internship?
I really like being able to, the people that come to us on our boat tours and come to the aquarium, some of these people have never even seen the ocean before. So being able to take them out into the Gulf, into Clearwater Bay, and teach them about all the little animals that they had no idea about,
and that are unique to this area.
And so important to the ecosystem, and kind of like why they should care for them and why they should care for the ocean. And sometimes it's the first time they're experiencing any of that. So bringing that message of conservation to people from all over the country, and also my coworkers. I work with some of the most amazing people, so that was also one of my favorite parts of my internship.
I feel like every time I go to Clearwater Marine Aquarium, I just have such a positive experience. Like the staff is so great. So I could see that being like a really just fun place to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the counter of that, and I know you mentioned public speaking, were there any other challenges as you were going through that you feel like you were able to kind of work through and evolve with in your internship program?
Yeah, again, public speaking I was absolutely terrified of that. I would avoid public speaking, even like giving presentations in school. I avoided it at all costs. And I was so nervous to start doing that part of the internship. So I feel like that was personally the most challenging part for me. And then when it comes to the boat tours was another kind of challenging part. So for our sea life safari, there's a lot of moving parts to it. You're doing the net pull, you're doing species identification, you're trying to entertain people and make sure that they're being safe and not like falling off the boat. So all those moving parts and being able to do it, seamlessly was challenging as well.
Yeah. And it sounds like in both of those cases, the sense that I'm getting is just the more practice that you have in doing it, the better, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool.
Stephanie, this one's going to come to you. There's just so much going on at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. And as Ashley mentioned, every time I visited, there's something different, new exhibits, new programs, new construction within the facility itself. And I guess we've already talked about educational programs, the Research Institute, and even internationally inspiring people all over the world. What would you like to highlight maybe to tell our audience more about Clearwater Marine Aquarium?
I think the conservation mission is a huge part of what we do. Megan's part of the conservation education department. And I think that making sure that we're telling that story. When our CEO came on board, our new CEO, Joe Handy, that was the first thing he did is he tasked every single department with finding a way to do outreach, to get out there and tell people about what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to educate people on. So even the HR department, we're out doing outreach. I'm, at Dunedin Honeymoon Island Festival, talking about becoming a volunteer at the aquarium. Crystal River, we're talking about manatees and our upcoming manatee facility that's coming in early spring.
On Crystal River?
Yeah.
I love Crystal River. Okay.
So I'm just curious, Stephanie, since you brought it up, how does someone become a volunteer at Clearwater Marine Aquarium?
Sure. So if they go on our website and they click on Become Involved, get connected, there is actually a volunteer application there. Once they apply to be a volunteer, they'll be invited to a volunteer welcome visit. We hold them 11 months out of the year, and we bring in about 50 people each time. And then at that welcome visit, you will get a tour of the facility, told about the different opportunities, the different hours that are available, and then you'll get to sign up for which one you're interested in. There is a lot of training involved in becoming a volunteer also, because when you're walking around the facility, the expectation is that you're able to interact with the guests because they don't know that you're a marine mammal volunteer and you're training dolphins versus, an education volunteer that you're teaching kids versus HR.
Right.
So
Well, and I would see, and I'm thinking of this because I was looking the other day on your Instagram channel, and there was a volunteer doing a video. And so I get to see different things like you're testing the waters, right? And so I think for the average person who wants to be involved, but probably doesn't have that background, that education and training will be really important.
absolutely. And, we only ask for 1 4-hour shift a week as a commitment. And then we ask for a 6-month commitment. So let's say you're a USF student and you're going home for Christmas break. It might not be the time to sign up. But in January, when you come back, that would be a perfect time to sign up. And I think a lot of the campuses and professors are looking at volunteer opportunity as a way to grow your skills to move into that career field. Yeah. We look at it also when you're applying for an internship, and have you had a volunteer experience in a similar career field? Maybe it was at Moat Aquarium, but hopefully it was at Clearwater Marine Aquarium. And then that gives you a little edge into getting that internship or even that paid job.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that, because I just, for our students, I really want to plug, volunteer opportunities, student organizations, being involved in things like that are all really good ways to build your portfolio, so that if you don't have that direct experience, you're having ways where you can build that when an employer is actually looking at, considering you as a candidate, your help making yourself more attractive, if you will, to the employer.
We actually just hosted the Marine Science Club here at USF in St. Pete.
Nice.
We did a tour of the facility, and then we talked about the different opportunities there were to intern or volunteer. And we now have 2 new volunteers from USF.
Amazing. I love hearing that.
Yeah, I'm always trying to push the volunteer side, especially with new students when you may or may not know exactly what direction your career will take. And as we've already discussed, majors don't necessarily matter, and majors are very broad. And you've got a marine scientist working in marketing, and that experience and knowledge was so valuable looking ahead. So I hope students do take advantage to know there's such opportunities here. It's not a huge commitment, and it leads to opening doors later down the road. Anything else either of you would like to add to, our pitch for why students should get involved, and also carrying that mission? Because I thought what you said was really nice about it's everybody's job. And hopefully too, all these visitors leave and take that mission with them. And we're going to hopefully get this world to be a better place and appreciate our water. Quit contaminating.
I would say that our CEO, one of the things that he tasked us with, in addition to the outreach piece, was to reaching out to diverse communities who maybe have never seen the beach, maybe never seen the water, and providing those opportunities, whether that's a volunteer opportunity, and breaking down the barriers to getting people to come to the organization. Just the barrier of having to drive across the bridge for some people if they don't have a car.
Yeah.
Any resources that you found have been really helpful?
Our website has a lot of really important resources. So anything from learning more about our resident animals, about the organizations we're accredited with, and different upcoming events and volunteering and internship stuff.
I just have to say, I feel like I could keep learning from you all, but it's been really wonderful having you on set. So thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah,
Did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, I think, next year there'll be so many new improvements and additions to the aquarium, both on site, but also around the Tampa Bay area. So I think we'll just have to have you back. That's all.
We would love to come
Okay.
back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
We'll
And
plan on
hopefully
that.
we'll have a lot more USF intern alumni.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on another episode of Getting Down to Business. Special shout out to our folks at Innovative Ed.